Coach Bill, come in and have a seat. Have a seat. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well.
Good to see you again.
Good to have you back in again, and you guys have improved quite a bit since last year.
Yeah, I think we had a pretty good year last year too, but I think we're more balanced this year. We're able to throw the ball more effectively, and defensively, honestly, we have less guys going both ways, so our defense has been able to get at it a lot more.
How's everything down the farm?
Farm's growing. I've added some goats and some and donkeys and horses are coming down the road here.
Do you have any deer out there?
Plenty of deer. Actually, some big buck out there as well. Coyotes.
Now, you went to Guilford College back in the day, right?
That's correct.
I was up there last. I go there quite a bit to get a little exercise trail workout in. But the deer at Guilford College, it's a prime season. There are deer all over that campus. I saw a deer last night. You may be a deer specialist. And not seen a deer actually kind of stop when the human's out there before and kind of hiss, almost like a defensive mode deer last night. Any idea about how that works?
No, I don't know anything about that, and I'm not a deer hunter either. I just usually when they see us, they take off running. But
they break as a pack usually too, right?
Usually the females do.
Yeah, group of about 3 or 4 usually, something like that. Talk about the coyote. You got coyote out there too.
We've got coyotes out there, no doubt.
Where is that farm again?
Davidson County, not far from the Guilford County line, but off of Lexington Avenue, High Point.
It's not headed out toward Ledford, is it out that way?
It's not far from Ledford.
Just kind of vision that may be toward Ledford.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Interesting. Well, you talk about where the team is today, where the team was last year, and where the team's going. Talk about where the team is today, because you've got a big game tomorrow.
Okay. A couple of things that stand out to me, I was talking to some of my guys about too. It's been a whole lot better than we had in the past is our turnover margin. If you look right now, we're at plus 31 for the year, which is we've only turned the ball over. We've turned the ball over 5 times, 2 interceptions and 3 fumbles, and obviously that's that usually helps a lot with success. We're balanced. So if you look at our numbers, rushing yards, we're rushing and passing. It's about 50-50. Even our rushing attack, if you look, our leading rusher is Austin Henley, and there's 4 guys right behind him. So we spread the ball around. We've got a lot of skilled guys, a lot of guys that can run. I think we pose a problem for opposing defenses that scouting us. You've
got Henley, who's about a 420 sort of neighborhood, and you've got Henley, you've got Boykins, I think. You got guys just keep showing up one after the other. Quite a few guys.
That's right. We can
Woelfel. I got to get that Woelfel name in there too.
Yeah. Nathan's a special kid. So is Lance Boykin, and obviously there's.
And Deshaun runs the ball pretty good too.
He does.
He's got about 330.
He
maybe.
does.
I may be wrong.
He does. And so we are very balanced as far as running and passing, and then again as far as spreading the ball around. We've got certain games. Dre Davis will have big numbers. The next game is Tyron Melton. Brett's had some good games. So
and the guys like it too, because you guys don't mind throwing the ball, and the receivers just love to eat that stuff up.
And Deshaun does a great job in reading defenses. And you can look at how athletic he is. He runs well. He throws well. But I'm telling you, the real strength of that kid too is he's extremely smart.
What has led to all this success between? I know you were very good last year, even better this year. What's led to the success you've had between that time then and this time now?
Well, we've had quite a few new kids come in.
And you talked about that last year. You're going to be probably seeing some new influx of new talent.
Right. And we expected to see some, but I believe we had 13 kids that played this year that either came into the school. Well, I think they all came into the school. I think we had 13 new guys come in from everywhere from Page to Ragsdale, Glenn, Wheatmore, Bishop, and they've been a big contributors too. So I mean, there's no doubt that has helped us a lot, and buying into the program and the philosophy and the culture and so forth, and that's helped. And we've got a great coaching staff. We've been blessed so many ways there. So I think we've just been able to put everything together, and I hope that'll breed success in the future as well.
How do these guys stand now as far as Deshaun Taylor goes? Is he a junior or a senior?
Deshaun is a junior, and actually we lose 5 seniors this year, and most of our skill guys are coming back next year. So the freshman.
Melton, is he a junior or senior?
He is a junior. Dre Davis is a junior.
Wow.
Austin is a junior. Nathan is a junior.
That's the majority of your offensive numbers there, yeah.
Out on the back. Defensively, we lose a few, but we return a lot of guys back. Our 9th, 10th, and 11th grade classes are real strong. JV undefeated again.
How do you get a chance, because you got so much talent coming back, do you look to tweak the schedule? I know you're asking for more schools to play, but do you try to tweak that schedule some more? Actually get some tougher teams on there too, keep building that too?
No doubt. What's happened to us this year is teams that we've played, even in Division up, we've had quite a few cancel on us. And so we're trying to replace them with with public schools, but it's difficult for them. Number one, a lot of times they are committed to play so many conference games, and secondly, losing to a private school does not look good from their state. So we're having a difficult time. We have been able to get, we're playing Randleman next year, is on our schedule.
Nice, yeah.
We've got 2 vacancies we're still trying to fill right now from teams that have dropped us, but Ravenscroft is on there again. Ravenscroft's ranked number 1 in Division II. They had a number 1 seed.
Yeah,
Good team.
So. Coach Gannett has been there for years. He's been there a long time.
Been there a long
Former Duke
30
product. Yeah,
Is that right?
Came out of Duke years ago. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I think he's been there 35 years. Does a good job. They're the number 1 seed, Division II.
And you guys are Division
3. But we played. I think we're 5-0 in our conference. We're 2-1 in Division II, and we're 1-0 against Division I. And then we also played Bishop. So.
And this is Coach Scott Bell with High Point Christian Academy. The Cougars in the house tonight. Big game tomorrow night over in High Point in the Simeon Stadium complex. You mentioned Ravenscroft is playing for the title in the 1A level.
Ravenscroft's 2A, and they're in the
2A.
semis against Cannon tomorrow night.
Cannon, okay, gotcha. Is that the same level with Charlotte Latin? Are they there too?
That's Division I.
There's a lot of good private schools in the state because I know Latin's tough, and you mentioned Ravenscroft's tough.
Davidson Day's tough.
Davidson Day tough.
Charlotte Christian.
Boy, Davidson Day's going to be tough because Will Greer, come back, Will.
That's right.
We want Will to play again.
That's right.
He put the private schools in the map to some degree.
He did, and really the Charlotte schools are doing real well. We tend to be the you got Bishop as football around here, but it's us and Bishop really are the only game in town.
And you mentioned Ravenscroft on that schedule next year then.
Ravenscroft, we played them this year away. We got them home next year, week 2.
How'd this year go when you played them this year?
We lost 21-7. Deshaun got knocked out of that game in the 3rd quarter. We had the ball first and goal with a 3 and didn't score. We had our backup quarterback in, and we made some mistakes in that game, but they returned a kick down to the 5. That game was very evenly matched.
How about tomorrow night's game? Raven Gap coming in. Talk about these guys.
Raven Gap have a tradition of being a solid football team, very well coached. He's been there a long time as well. Offensively, they really pose a threat. They've got 2 receivers. They got a kid 6'4", 200, and another kid 6'3", 185. Both have 950 yards, 970 yards.
6'3".
6'4" and 6'3". 6'4", 200 is a big kid.
Wide receiver, that's a pretty good size tight end, big wide receiver.
And they're receivers, yeah. And they both have double-digit touchdowns. So passing game very proficient. Quarterback's thrown for 2,400 yards. He can run the ball as well. Offensively, they really do pose a threat. And defensively, they've given up some points. They also have played well recently here. The game they played last week against Trinity was a solid game.
Let me ask this question. Any like opponents on their schedule with your schedule? Guys you can kind of use for some little bit of comparison?
Yes, they played Cannon. They beat Cannon 35-24. We beat Cannon 28-0. Metrolina, we did not play that game, got rained out, and they wouldn't reschedule us. Metrolina beat them 49-32. I believe was the
That's
score.
a loss for them against Metrolina.
Loss against Metrolina. And
That's the
Metrolina
team that
played
was Charlotte, right?
correct. And they had a quarterback that ran real well against Raven Gap.
And this is a semifinal tomorrow night?
This is the
If you're
semifinal.
fortunate enough to win this game tomorrow evening, who are the other 2 teams on the other side?
The other 2
there?
teams that are left are Concord First Assembly and Wake Christian. We've played both of those already this year.
And you played Wake Christian, beat both those teams in earlier.
We beat both those teams, correct.
I know you got to respect the teams down the road, but do you think tomorrow night's game might be one of those kind of precursor type championship type games, or what?
No, I don't think so. I think Raven Gap's a great team. Wake Christian has played really well recently.
That happens sometimes in the course here. They start playing a better football toward the end.
They are. We match up very well with them, but they're playing good football right now, and they knocked us out of the playoffs last year. So we would love to see Wake Christian again.
What do you look for from your players on the field? What are you looking for?
For tomorrow night?
Just overall.
Overall. Well, one of the things we strive for, just going back to kind of the roots of our program, is not just coaching and teaching football. We try to mentor these guys and try to work with them, teach them discipline, sportsmanship, coming together as a team, and that's really what I think. We're peaking right now physically, but I think we're peaking even more mentally. We've come together a lot. Attitudes are good. There's a calm, they're confident right now, but it's not an overconfidence. And I love the mentality of our team right now. So
You've got some humility about them then.
No doubt. And I expect them to perform. And guys like Deshaun and Austin, which you'll have an opportunity to speak with, are both leaders out on the field. And that's really been wonderful for this team this year, is both those guys are leaders when they're out there. And
what do you look for these guys from them off the field?
My players off the field?
Yeah, waiting for them.
You know, I expect, as far as behavior is concerned, you know, we expect them to be, you know, good Christians, good citizens, good friends, good teammates, etc. We expect a lot from them, there's no doubt, and we hold them accountable. And, you know, we do service projects. You know, we do a lot of things off the field during the off season. It's not just workouts, but we also do, you know, things together just to get to know each other better and so forth. So this is not just for us. It's not just about coaching and teaching football. It's about mentoring kids, teaching these guys to be good fathers someday, good husbands, good Christians, good workers, etc.
And like you're saying right there, kind of sum all up, maybe in a paraphrase, so to speak, you want your guys to be High Point Christian Academy, not in name only.
Correct.
Not just
Absolutely.
a name.
Well said.
What are you looking for from your guys in the game tomorrow night then? Let's focus on tomorrow night's game. What do you expect your guys to do?
You know, tomorrow night's game, I expect a balanced attack. We always want to be able to run and throw, and we've had the luxury this year of not, you know, we never have felt like we were one-dimensional in any game, so we certainly want to get at it. You know, running and passing. Defensively, we want to put pressure on the quarterback. And, you know, from what we've seen, if we can get that quarterback rattled a little bit, it'll change his decision making. So we want to do a lot of the things that we've been doing all season long, flying around on defense, creating turnovers, taking care of the ball. We want to do better as far as penalties are concerned. That's something that's been haunting us a little bit, and maintain, you know, control of the ball.
There's something to be said in the private schools for building from within the school, which you take the kids that are there and been there for a while. Also something to be said, too, if you want to keep building your program, building outside the school. How do you put those two together, meld them, and make them both work at the same time? Building from within the school and also building from outside the school, too.
Yeah, that's a good question. And one of the things we've had to deal with is I was just told this week, we are the smallest school in Division III as far as enrollment is concerned. So if the divisions are based on enrollment, that tells me we're the smallest, perhaps the smallest school in the state, private school, that offers football. So the numbers game is obviously very difficult, and I feel like we've drawn as many from our school right now as we can. We've talked to a lot of the basketball players and so forth, baseball players, trying to get them to play multi-sports. And now, since we've had this success, kids coming in for, you know, for academic reasons, for the Christian atmosphere, and also to play football, we've seen that grow dramatically here, and I would expect this offseason to be busy as well. And
you think about that, you got the guys that have been there for several years and the guys from outside the school. How big, do you know how big your student population is for your high school? Any idea?
I think it's, they average about 65 per class.
So you're talking somewhere around the old 280 range.
Something like that, yeah.
About 280 for the whole high school.
For the whole high school.
That's definitely smaller, I would think, than Bishop McGinnis. It's probably a very, I looked at their population there. They call this the ADM, the average daily membership. It's like last week for Bishop, and it must have been about 445 or something crazy like that.
That sounds right. I thought they were about 110, 120, whatever per class. So we're much smaller. And of course, when you take the females out of the equation, and then you got other you know, kids, athletes playing soccer and other sports. It's, you know, it is difficult. So kids coming from the outside is probably a necessity at this point for the program to
When you dial it up on maxpreps.com and it shows the schedule, it shows the stats. I get those every week, things like that. But what about the roster? How many kids on your roster right now? How many players do you have?
You know, it probably shows 28. I think we'll probably dress 26 or 7 tomorrow, and a number of those are ninth graders. We actually have 6 ninth graders right now that are at practice every day, and a couple of them play quite a bit, and all of them are going to be excellent.
Did you have a JV team this year too?
We did, we did, and they played a limited schedule, but they have a difficult time finding opponents as well because they've blown some of them out.
26-27 dress for the game tomorrow night. How many guys are going both ways? Quite a few?
Not many. That has been the upside.
You're drawing yourself a nice line in. Is that something you did as a coach? Said, I'm going to draw a line. I want to put guys on both sides of the ball and not play guys both ways. Some coaches draw that line and say, we're going to do this, and they stick to it. Some coaches after a while go, I got to fudge. I got to bring this. But do you kind of draw that line and try to stick to that?
No, I really haven't. We try to put the best guys in the best positions, and the guys that have the wind that can go both ways, like, you know, Austin goes both ways. We try to get them rest on both sides of the ball, but we try to play the best players at each position, and we have had so many, you know, in years past we've had maybe 28 guys on the roster at times, but how many of those were football players was maybe single digits, and this year they're all football players. There is nobody on that team that doesn't contribute, and you know, so we're able to sit all my linebackers, for example, our linebacking crew, when they come onto the field, they're fresh and they're ready to go, and it shows.
And I guess it's one of those things too. You've been fortunate as far as injuries go. Not too many bad injuries this year.
Yeah, we've been really lucky. I feel very fortunate. We have not had a lot of big injuries at all.
And do you like to run the ball, or do you like to get the ball outside? Keep it inside, keep it outside. What about running this ball? Run it, pass it. How's your offense? It sounds like it's balanced. We talked about some earlier. There's a good balance between the pass and running during your offense.
And there is, and we probably run in interior more than outside, and that's just the nature of the beast. This day and age, most defensive coordinators are daring you to go outside. They load up the contain guys, get way outside, almost like on a wide nine, taking away the edge from you. And we have the ability with a 240-pound fullback to run interior, so we do run inside quite a bit. We got
How big again?
Austin's about 240 pounds.
240?
240.
That's a
so
luxury.
When he
it's
comes,
a big kid for a private school. 240. Wow, that's big.
he comes through tackle to tackle, you better get low.
That's like some teams be saying, "Man, this is the biggest lineman I've ever had." He's your
Sure. And offensive line has done a great job this year. And until last week, and it was a blitz. We hadn't given up a sack in 5 weeks. And so that's a tribute to the offensive line. They do a great job. We're able to pull the traps, counters, and so forth. Have been very successful to us because we have athletic offensive linemen.
Big kids up front too, I guess.
You know, we probably average about 245 up front, but they all move well. They're athletes.
Here's a quick. You may not have been coaching, but it may have happened before you got there. May have happened when you. What happened to that kid? This is just out of the blue. The big kid that moved here that year from Wake Christian. Remember he moved here and joined the team. Remember that kid?
Andrew Couillard. He is up in at a Baptist college up in Pennsylvania. Decided not to play football.
That just kind of came back to my mind because he was a big kid.
He was a big kid. He came in about 290. He's down to about 240 now.
So he decided to change the nutrition level.
Apparently so.
The young men that are with us tonight. Talk about them a little bit more before we bring them in. Deshaun Taylor and Austin Henley.
Okay, Deshaun came from Western Guilford. Came in halfway through the year last year. He's a tremendous athlete, and I'll tell you, he's a basketball player and football player. He runs well. He's one of the better athletes we have. He runs well, throws well. But I'm going to tell you his strength again is he's an incredibly smart kid, and he's got a 4.6 GPA at the school. He reads defenses extremely well. And, you know, the thing about him is one of the adjectives I'm going to use to describe him, you might say that's kind of odd, is he's calming to me. Meaning when he's on the field, as a coach, you really just don't have to worry about him leading the team. He grabs the bull by the horns. He's a great leader. He knows where everybody's supposed to be. He reads defenses well. He takes care of the ball. He does all those things, and that's not something that you get with a good athlete all the time. So he actually is pairing up with a great athlete with great smarts, great ability to run a team. He's a great leader. Austin Henley, big kid, 6'2", 240 pounds, 15 or 16 sacks this year, another 15, 16 tackles for loss. I think he's second on the team in tackles as a DN. As a running back, he's got 400-some yards. I believe he's averaging 8-9 yards a carry. Got great hands as a receiver. What he does, appreciate it. The other thing he does, he makes defenses and offenses account for him. And when he's on that defensive end, I've had coaches come up to me over and over again and say, "Man, number 16 just changes our game plan." And so he's a tremendous competitor on both sides of the ball. And of course, he punts and kicks as well.
Does a little bit of everything for you.
Right.
240-pound punter too. That's pretty big.
That is a big
and
punter.
Kicker. Gosh, this guy 240. That's huge. I like the top. That's a nice. I like the colors. I like everything about it. That looks nice.
Appreciate that.
Compliments to there. And any chance you could go along the same lines that some of our basketball coaches and football coaches have done to schools over the years? So these days, kids like DeAndre Overton, you've heard of him out of Page, used to be the big basketball guy, but then he became a football guy too. Douglas had several basketball players move to the football. Can you get these basketball guys coming out for your football team? How about that, Christian? Do you think Coach Clifford might say, "I want to send you a guy"? Or you go
I don't
tell him, I want one of your guys.
No, that's probably not going to happen. They're an extremely competitive group, and he's had some new guys come in too. And there's so much overlap. I mean, they're practicing play. I think they play tomorrow night, and so that creates a problem. And obviously, some of these guys that are going D1 don't want to get hurt. So I don't think there's a great opportunity for a lot of crossover.
No interchange there then.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Well, Coach, how about Deshaun and maybe Austin going to Guilford College, your old school? Can we get those guys in there?
Yeah, I think they're looking to play at a level above that.
But if it doesn't come about, there's always Guilford, though, right? That's
Sure.
Team, man, it'd be a great place to put those guys.
It's cool.
I think people are looking at Guilford a lot different these days. Could be a 9-1 team after Saturday's game. I think Coach Rusevich said that could well be the most wins in school. I know they had a lot of 8-2 teams back years ago, but this could be the most wins in school history.
They got a good program. They got a good
Northwest
program.
Guilford kid, got the kicker Tyler Hunt out of Eastern Guilford, got a kid out of, they got kids from all over the county.
He's done a good job recruiting.
Coach, thank you for your time. Let's
thank you.
Who's our first player? I'll let you choose the player that goes first. Who goes first tonight?
Let's go with Deshaun Taylor.